Hey everybody, welcome back, Ponderers, to another episode of Pop Culture Ponderers. I'm Joe,
I'm Lauren.
and today I'm hitting Lauren with some questions about How to Train Your Dragon.
Yes, that is our topic for the day.
I got some stuff I want to run through. We'll talk about each of the Vikings,
Mm-hmm.
each of the dragons from the first movie.
Yes.
Um, then I have a couple talking points that I'd like to bring up
Nice.
and questions.
All right.
So, starting with that, let's go right into the Vikings.
All right. Let's dive right in.
So the first Viking you obviously meet in the movie is Hiccup,
Right. We have sweet little Hiccup.
which lovable character from the beginning.
Absolutely. I definitely think so. He's got an adorable voice. Again, really good voice acting in this movie. And Hiccup he's sweet and he's fun and just there's all of this of him
Yeah,
that is its own thing that's going on the entire time. And exactly, I've always enjoyed that entire vibe. Just him coming in and being like, what?
yeah,
You've just gestured to all of me.
and I
So yeah.
and I kind of relate to him. Like growing up, you just felt, I don't know. Once in a while, you feel like an outcast,
Yeah.
and then you find your group that you fit into, and it's just nice to see that in the movie.
And it's one of those things because like yeah, there's definitely he's got a strong outcast factor. And one of the things that I think that works really well in his favor is that it's really that he finds out who he is and that brings people to him naturally. By discovering that cool, like I'm not like everyone else. I don't necessarily want to be killing dragons. Like that's not in my nature. This isn't who I am. I have a different mentality and a different feeling about the world. And that automatically like brings people to him. They start to like him and understand him. The part where he's trying to be like everyone else is the part where it works the least. That's
Yeah,
who everyone likes the least, is the part of him that's pretending to be somebody else. When he becomes who he actually is, everyone loves that. Yeah, I love that message with him. And he does. He's got the fish out of water or the dragon out of sky vibe better
yeah,
than almost any other character. I think that that's good for him.
yeah. No, definitely. Then next up, we got Astrid,
Yes.
and I love the character. She totally opposite of Hiccup, the tough one, and
Right.
um just an all around good character, I think.
Yeah, she is, and she's competent and strongly. She's good at what she's doing here. And it's one of those things I don't necessarily know if she's considered why they're doing what they're doing. Like you hear her kind of talk about it like our parents' war, like we're going to be taking over this. This is our responsibility. So we have a strong sense of like her knowing what her place is, being strong within this village and this community and kind of like leading, but it's not necessarily something like she doesn't necessarily feel strongly about having to kill dragons. It's just that sense of purpose. Astrid has that in a way that Hiccup really does not.
Yeah, so I feel like she just feels she has to do what her
Mm-hmm.
parents expect of her and what the
Mm-hmm.
village expects of her.
And exactly the most important thing is being the best at that. Like there is no slowing down. Once she gets a chance, once Hiccup shows her a different way of being, she slows down and really examines a different life and how she could function. But in the beginning, it's just a matter of excelling. It's being the best no matter what that takes all the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's strong with her.
And watching her get aggravated as like the challenges go on and she's
The
getting
complete
taken going from the first person in the class like to being second to Hiccup.
hmm
You
There's
see,
something fun about that too. Like her kind of like losing losing her sense of like one what makes sense, but also like as that kind of shifts out, like she as she loses this being the best at the thing, it really causes her to examine like what is the point of the thing. Cool, is this something worth being the best at? Like should we be looking at it from a different way? Do we join up with the dragons then? Is that it? So yeah, I like that with her too.
all right. The next up on my list, I got fish legs.
Yes, we do. We've got fish legs.
And I love how he's like the nerdy character in this and knows everything about all the dragons and
hmm
carries around his little books and cards,
Yeah, which I
cheat
cannot
sheets.
get over him going through it. Like the stats, the D&D stats just makes me happy every time. Toughness, strength, durability, flame, like the entire thing makes me happy.
Yeah. The way he breaks them down one by one, like,
Right.
and I like how it gets thrown in at the end of the movie where he's breaking down like the what was that, the Red Death? Was it the
Yes, yeah, exactly. And like the entire tone shift, and he's just like, ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the only one that really understands what's going on in this final moment.
But he's one of one of my favorites. Um, and then we got the twins, Rough Nut and Tough Nut.
Yeah, Rough Nut and Tough Nut. Oh gosh, Rough Nut and Tough Nut. Um, they definitely have a fun vibe together. I like their play off of each other, and they do function as like two pieces of the same organism in so many ways.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, the completed sentences, they're exactly half of like one side of a coin, essentially, each of them.
And then next up on the list, we got Snotlout. And
Hmm.
I love how he overcompensates for everything.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh every time. Like he, the one scene where he's talking about um I forget he got blinded by the sun and he's like, well, I could have dimmed it, but I didn't have time. Like it's
Right.
like the ridiculousness is just hilarious.
Yeah, a complete lack of self-awareness where Astrid is complete like she knows the reality of the world that they're in and what they're facing and like how serious and how much it matters. Then you have like Rough Nut and Tough Nut who really, really don't. They are divorced from that reality, but they're also not like problematic for anyone. Like they're just kind of disengaged. And then exactly, you have Snotlout who really thinks that he's something different than he is. He
Yeah,
thinks that he's doing better at this job than he is. He thinks he's more qualified. He thinks that he is really the one to be. He can't really see that Astrid is that person. He's so sure that it's got to be him. Yeah, watching him go on his little journey of discovery is enjoyable.
yeah. No, that's definitely one that makes me laugh every time when he goes through his spiels every time.
Yeah, exactly. His constant explanations.
But then we got Stoic,
Hmm.
which love Gerard Butler, and
Yes.
he plays that role so well.
He does. He does. And like Stoic is very interesting. You know, Stoic is of course like our main human conflict. You have some with Astrid in there in terms of the competition between her and Hiccup, but with Stoic it was really where we see Hiccup struggle with the true dilemma of the movie is the nature of himself and what he wants and who he's going to be. And the expectation of his father and the expectation of his father's world and his father's willingness to open and understand. So Stoic represents in some ways the character who has the biggest journey and the most changing and learning and understanding to do in the entire movie. Yeah.
Yeah, that, and then we got Gobber, which to me he seems like the fun uncle,
Yeah, right.
like your
Exactly.
dad's best friend that grew up, and he's not officially your uncle, but you consider him Uncle Gobber.
Right. He's always got a fun moment and like he's the person that also when you're like really struggling, you can go, "Hey, cool. I just need a grown up to talk to,
Yeah,
and you'll be on my side." Yes. He's very fun. I absolutely love him.
yeah,
And I do. I like that he might have a clearer sense of again like as you're describing that kind of like familial character he has a clearer sense in a lot of ways of who Hiccup is. He can see him in a way that his dad can't, and without him as like that kind of like in between hinging piece, I don't know how easy that relationship would have been to repair or move through long term. Yeah, he does a lot for that family.
yeah. He's definitely like the buffer between Stoic and Hiccup.
Yeah, exactly. He's aware of the fact that Hiccup does have strength and ability. Like yeah, there's still all of this, but Hiccup does have strength and abilities, and that as Hiccup starts to go through like the trials or whatever and really learn about the dragons, and as they're watching him improve as the village, he is more he's more willing to still recognize Hiccup's nature in that. I think that like Stoic sees it as, oh, cool, you're going to be like me now. You're going to have the ferocity and you're going to want to fight and you're going to be into this. And I think that for Hiccup, it's probably a little different. He's able to have a different relationship where he can be more gentle with dragons. Like it's more about learning how to control them because, like, again, even from the beginning, like, so he's not. He's in control of the only dragons that are left alive in Burke.
Yeah,
So he's already got a different relationship with them. He already sees them as something that at least can be used as a teaching tool. And he's used to like shaping and working with these kids. So I think that flexibility and that relationship with Hiccup, that's probably the thing that's kept Hiccup like sane, essentially trying to grow up in Burke. Otherwise, it would have been really, really isolating for him all the time.
yeah,
Yeah. I think about that all the time. That would have been a tough situation for that kid. I think it worked out in the long run though,
yeah.
mostly because of the dragons.
Mostly because.
Mostly because of the dragons.
And speaking of dragons, let's
Yes.
go into the types of dragons we
Ah,
got.
yes.
So we got Stormfly, the Deadly Natter,
Mm-hmm.
and definitely a cool design behind. to me, it's almost like a raptor with wings. To
Yeah.
me, it looks like.
And I was gonna say, like, we should break down, yeah, both the look and like the abilities of the dragons too, because like they all have really distinct physical characteristics and abilities, which I think is really, really cool. Is that we see both sides of the world fleshed out. It's not just the people, but like the dragons are all very distinct and different.
Yeah,
So yeah, there is. There's definitely like a strong raptor vibe to that. There's a very dark look to that one, which is cool.
yeah, and then I like that it also has spikes on its tails that it shoots out. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's a serious dragon
Oh
ability.
yeah, not only does it shoot fire, but it could fling spikes.
Yeah, exactly. You've got impalement as another concern. The fire might be distracting you, right? That's something to take seriously.
Yeah. Then the only other thing is, don't know. Do those spikes have like poison in them? Is it venomous or is it just? I don't know. I don't.
Right, exactly. And like they haven't done enough research within world to know themselves. That's something that exactly eventually there would be like dragonologists in this world. I could see that happening, and somebody would have a documented history they'd be able to tell
Yeah.
us.
The next up we got Barf and Belch, the Zippleback.
Yeah.
That was the twins dragon.
Right? That I really, really liked. I liked that the two heads worked together. I like that you have the dual abilities there. That's
Yeah.
such a cool trait in a dragon. That one can function indifferently, like differently than the other. But that, of course, leaves you the inevitable dragon weakness of if you lose one head, one, if you can survive that,
Yeah.
and two, then you've essentially lost your dragon ability.
Yeah. Because now either one's not going to be able to spark
Hmm.
the gas, and the other one either it's just going to be sparking and
Yeah,
gonna get the
exactly. And
light.
there's nothing to light, which again kind of relates back to our twins, like that relationship between them where they are two parts of one organism. That's obviously mirrored in the dragon that they end up with, but I always thought that was a fascinating concept for a dragon.
And to give props to the twins to control that dragon
Hmm.
together is probably really hard.
Yeah, it reminds me of, strangely enough, what it reminds me of is Pacific Rim. Have you ever seen Pacific Rim?
Yeah.
Love that movie, but like the way that you have to bond to control a Jaeger, the
Yeah.
way that you need the two minds to come into sync, it's one of those things that's because they're twins that they can operate like because the two heads have to work in conjunction, but they're thinking two different things, and the body therefore has to follow both thoughts. It has to be operating both at the same time, and the twins have to be bonded the same way. It always had that same kind of vibe to me. Being able to pilot a Jaeger and being able to ride a Zippleback, they've got to be very, very
Yeah.
similar in mentality.
Next up we got the Nightmare Hookfang,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a seriously mean looking dragon.
Yeah, that's one of the cool, like that dragon has a wicked look to me. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah. And then I like the fact that when when it's like attacking,
Hmm.
it lights itself up on fire. That makes
Yes,
that thing much more scary. Like that thing
absolutely.
is scary as hell, and like in general, a dragon would scare the crap out of somebody.
But
But the
right,
fact that it's on fire now and coming at you,
so deeply unnatural and terrifying, your whole brain would just see that. Like literally, I think the only thing that would make a dragon worse for me if it didn't have fire coming out of its mouth and the entire thing was coated in it. I would lose my mind. Yeah, it's one of my favorite looking dragons within the entire world. I love that one.
yeah, it's definitely a cool design, and I like it. It kind of reminds me of like your regular dragons that you would see in medieval times, but with cool
Yeah.
different factors.
Yes, yeah, it's got a little boost to it. They did a good job of adding something to give them all, like again, like a personality or an identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we got the Gronkle Meat Lug,
Yeah,
and
right?
this one to me is such a goofy design, and
Hmm.
it's I don't know. I don't know how to really explain it, but I do like the design. It just seems like a lazy dragon out of all.
Right? There's like something really comedic about it. So it was one too, like watching the new D&D movie, the one that came out relatively recently with Chris Pine, when they have the big dragon in the mountain. The little chubby dragon that you're just like, I don't think I've ever seen a chubby dragon before. And then going back and rewatching this, and I was like, yes, I have. Yes, I have. There he is. There's the little chubby dragon. There's something fantastic about like a little flying dangerous creature that's also just like a squish that you're just like,
Yeah.
ah, look at him. Yeah, I like that vibe.
Like it
There's
just
he's
seems like
cute.
he'd be lovable and just one to hang out with.
Right? He's a cuddle up dragon where you're like, oh, your little belly's warm.
Yeah.
I'll just use it as a pillow. Like
Yeah.
I would chill with him. Yeah.
What do you use him for? He just hangs out over there, eats stuff, and starts a fire for me when I need him.
Right, exactly. I just have to wake him up a little bit. He snorts and the fire's going and I'm
Yeah,
good to go.
it's perfect. Um, then we got the Terrible Terrors.
Yeah. Which is drawn. We see the drawings of.
Yeah.
But exactly, a terrible tear. Um, is a little bit more unknown in terms of our in World Dragons.
Yeah, the elder has like a bunch of them at the end of the movie, but
Yes.
you really don't see them other than like little takes here and there.
Right, right. They feature a little bit less, but still, I mean, just with a name like Terrible Terror, these are beautifully named too. Like if you're going to create an entire society that fears dread, these are the perfect names for everything.
Yeah. Um, and then we get our main man, Toothless,
Yes.
which is the Night Fury.
The Night Fury. One of the coolest names for a dragon. Like you could name just about anything a Night Fury, and that's fantastic.
Yeah. The watching how fast he moves and
Hmm.
his abilities, and he's definitely, well, we talked about it during
Yes.
our dragon episode, and
See episode 1 if you have not.
yeah, but still my favorite dragon of all time, I think. But
Yeah. And there's something really, really fun about Toothless. Like, one, we get to see a lot of his personality. Obviously, he's got a ton of personality. But even in terms of like his action or movement, like one of the things that always sticks out to me is that sound that he makes. Like, there is like just like you're talking about how fast he moves. They did such a great job of conveying that, like, again, just that sense of him, like a comet, something hurtling through the air. There is, there's something really impressive and kind of daunting about him despite his size. He is one of the most fearsome dragons within the world. Like he terrifies these people.
yeah.
Yeah, his entire vibe, fantastic from beginning to
And then we got our bad guy in the movie,
end.
the Red Death, the
Yes.
alpha dragon from the
Hmm.
island at the end of the movie.
Which again gives me like Jaeger, or it gives me kaiju vibes. There is something about like the cut of the, like the shape of that behemoth as it rises up out of the deep. It has like those deep sea creatures, or like those huge some of the huge dinosaur skeletons that we see, just that sense of like that crushing size, the immensity with which it moves, like you'd be able to feel and hear that in the air when you see when they first arrive at the cave. And Stoick is all like, please, and he's hopped out and he's right at the edge, and all of the dragons come flooding out, and you just have that sense of how wrong things must be. Like that Viking sense of like, oh, we should get back on the boats. We should get
Yeah,
back on the boats right now. Yeah, even in animation, that thing seems colossal to me.
yeah. Now that whole scene with the Red Death coming out, when you see all the dragons just take off, and then you get that eerie feeling like, what's about to happen?
Mm-hmm.
Because we know what's going to happen because we saw it earlier in the
Yeah,
movie,
exactly.
but
They really don't. And it's one of those things, we saw it as like these passive, we were with Toothless, and so we were in this quasi safe space. They have come as nothing but destroyers. They have come as nothing but an opposing force against this. And we know how overwhelmingly outweighed they are in terms of that sense. Like it's one
yeah,
of those things, if you did not have Toothless coming in it, if you did not have all of these kids showing up with their dragons, there is no question that thing would have decimated them. Like it just would have. We as an audience are aware. You'd be done.
oh, there's no question on that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Um, and talking about that point, like I like the scene where Stoic and Gobber are like, he's like, get everybody to safety, and
Yeah.
he's telling Gobber to do that, and he's like, well, I could buy you more time, we could double
Mm-hmm.
it. Like that that was a cool scene. It always like made me think of me and my friends. Like that's what I feel like we would do if something like that was to happen.
And it's that reminder too, because like we've seen Stoic, we've seen him with Hiccup for such a long time, and he's been kind of brusque and rough, and there hasn't been a lot of softness in the way that he's been with him. Even when he's excited about like the dragon training, it's still kind of like awkward, and I don't really know what to do with you. But you have this moment exactly with Gobert where you see the deep bond, like they're friends, and how much like cool,
Yeah.
we are ride or die, I'm with you until the end. So it gives us that moment of like of the goodness of him and how much he really inspires his people. There's a reason that he leads them, and his heart is broken because of what he's lost and what dragons represent to him. But he is like, there's, he stands for his people, and they will stand with him too. Yeah, I do. I like that moment a lot
Yeah.
too.
All right. So that wraps up our Vikings and our dragons. So
Yeah.
now we're gonna hit you with some questions
All
on.
right. Ponder away.
So what did you think of How to Train Your Dragon? Like in all
Just
fairness.
my broad. Love this movie. It's so so sweet. One, the dragon is adorable. Toothless is like one of the cutest little creatures. Looks like my cat. Can't do better than that. For those of you who have not seen a picture, we'll include her. I'll do a little snapshot at the end of the episode for this one. But little black cat, big green eyes, looks like Toothless, absolutely adorable. And the personality on Toothless, like, again, if I had to have a companion, if I had to pick a dragon to be palling around with in real life, I'm pretty sure that's my guy.
Go back to episode 1, you'll see this.
Right? But exactly, like there is. He's playful and he's sweet and he's fun and he's smart and he really like he does. He bonds with these people. He bonds with Hiccup. He loves him. Like you can't do better than that little scamp.
No,
Yeah, love this movie. I do think it's so cute.
yeah, no, the whole movie just it's I don't know, you get a little bit of everything in this movie. I feel like you get the heartfelt parts, you get all
Hmm.
sorts of stuff.
And the funny in it is funny too. I do.
Yeah,
Like I laughed. I enjoyed those bits. They were good. They still work for me now.
I know you hint like you did the little all of this. Like that is
Right?
still one of the best things. Like you gestured to all of
You
me.
just gestured at all of me. Like I don't understand what I'm supposed to work on. If you could just change all of this.
Yeah,
Exactly. Like that's it.
there's so many lines that were great.
Yeah.
And then I like going back to Gobber now.
Mhm.
At the end where Stoick was like, turns out all we needed was more of this, and he's like, well, you gestured to all of me, and then
Mhm.
Gobber's like, well, most of you, that part was me.
Right. I did that. Like exactly. He's got those little lines every time that just come sneaking right in. They're fantastic. And then another one that gets me, I love every single time, is after Hiccup's got Toothless and he's traced his little picture on the beach. He's
Yeah,
drawn his little face. And then you have Toothless. He's got his big stick and he's looking at Hiccup. He's going around, he's tracing it. Then you
yeah,
zoom back, it's just garbage.
yeah.
Garbage drawn on the beach. Love that moment.
And I like the part where Hiccup like goes to walk off and he steps on the line and Toothless now gets aggressive.
Instantly a problem.
And he's like, oh, nope. And
Right?
then he has to tiptoe through the scribbles.
Yeah, this absolute mess. Yeah, so exactly it does. It has such a fun vibe. It does. It does a good job of combining the sweet and the heartfelt. I really like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it was definitely I don't know, it's one of those movies like if it's on, I will sit there and watch it.
Hmm.
And this is another movie. I know I said it in previous podcast, but Amanda will make fun of me for like, oh, How to Train Your Dragon again.
This is what we're watching again.
And I said to her, I was like, the movie's coming out on the 13th. Are you gonna go see it with me? Like, not on the 13th, but like at
At
some
some
point.
point.
And she was like, no. I was like, why not? And she's like, well, I haven't seen the originals. Like, I will absolutely sit there and watch them with you.
Right opportunity presented. I got that covered for you. Don't even worry about
So you might
it.
have to help me talk her into
I'll
it.
see. I'll see what I can do. I'll start to work on that.
All right. So next thought I had was, or question was, do you see yourself living in the world of Burke?
Okay, so that depends. That's going to depend for me heavily on which version of Burke we're discussing. If we're discussing the dragon fighting Burke, no. I do not have the skills to fight a dragon and win. I just don't. I don't have it. I also don't have the skills to be dragon rated. I would be like one of the sheep in the beginning, scared and quickly eaten. Um, but in the after Burke, yes, I believe I still don't know if I'm going to be a dragon rider. That makes me very nervous. I guess if you can strap me into the saddle, I would try really, really hard. But yeah, honestly, you give me like a little gronkle and I'd be like, yeah, buddy, let's like go work a forge together. Or I could open like a little bakery and have like little dragons heating up the forge, like the little, pies in the ovens and stuff for me. So yes, in Afterburg, I do. I can see myself successfully living there.
Okay.
But that's gonna be my caveat. What about you?
Yeah, so I think I could do either one,
Okay.
but I definitely like the idea of
The
living with
Afterburg.
dragons and having yeah, no, it's definitely a cool idea. And I am terrified of flying,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I'd be okay with riding a dragon because I mean, they were designed to fly. I mean, I feel like if we were meant to fly, we'd have wings. That's why I don't like airplanes.
Yeah.
But you're talking
Suspicious
about
of the entire thing.
an animal that was born to fly. I
All
feel
right.
like I would be okay with it. It's like riding a horse in the sky.
Okay, right, which I do. I trust a horse. I guess I could do this. So I've got two questions for you. I'm going to bounce that one back to you since you can see yourself living in this world. In the before Burke, which dragon would you want to fight? In the after Burke, which dragon would you want to ride?
Uh, Probably just the terrible terror I'd want to fight
Mm.
because I know I can win that. But if like a nightmare came at me, I don't think I'd do good.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, fair
I
enough.
don't think I'm tough enough to do that. But
Yeah, right.
and then you got the Zippleback maybe, but you got two heads to contest with, and then you're talking the Natter. I mean, it's shooting spikes at you and shooting fire. I don't think I'd do good.
Not so great. The terrible tear might be a little bit fast for me. I might try and go for the zippleback because again, I can just confuse one head and maybe distract it like that one might be the one for me. In terms of riding though, I mean, yeah, I like the night, but yeah, it's probably I'm just gonna stick with my little Gronkle. It's nice and slow, got a nice comfy seat. We're going at a pace that I don't have to worry about too much. Like I just feel like that's my mode.
Yeah.
That's my dragon of choice.
I mean, if it doesn't light itself on fire, I think I'd be on a nightmare.
Yes, exactly. That's my big concern. Like I'm just relying on it not lighting on fire. Which I suppose once it likes me, I can. But I don't know. It makes me
Yeah.
nervous. All right,
Unlike
cool. That's
unlike
yours.
our dragons, I am not fireproof.
Right? Exactly. I don't think you can build me enough armor for
No.
that. Okay.
All
All right.
right.
Fair enough.
Well, that was one of my questions. Was we'll go into that next, but
Yeah.
which one would be your favorite dragon?
Okay. So again, I like in terms of like a day-to-day vibe. I like me a little Gronkle. I do. I think that there's a lot of potential. The terrible tears are cute, but I feel like I've got like a lot of golden retriever energy and cat speed, which is not a great combination. Okay, like I need one or the other. But yeah, like I like the little Gronkle, but my heart of hearts, I will always choose Toothless. Like you
Yeah.
can't do better than him. He's cute. He's got the best personality out of everybody. Like he's Toothless. He's
Yeah.
Toothless. He's perfect.
I'm in agreement with you on that. But I think if I don't have Toothless,
Yes.
I think it'd be the Natter. Because, like,
Nice.
I know we're talking about strictly episode one, but you
Yeah.
see how the Natter's like very playful,
Yes,
and
yes, you do.
like I like that. Like it to me, I have three dogs, so you
Yeah.
get that same vibe with that dragon, and
Right, you're
that's what
ready
I
for
like.
that energy to come into the
Yeah.
house. It works still.
Okay, and then my next question, since we're talking about favorite dragons, who is your favorite Viking?
Oh. Okay, so my favorite Viking is undoubtedly and has always been fish legs. I love
Really?
fish. Yeah, I love fish legs. Again, because like that would be me in this world where I'm just like, cool, I am not designed to fight these things. I can read a lot of books. I got all the information you need. I am your backup. I'm your team. Okay. But don't put me in front of it with the stick. I don't want to do that job. So I love, again, like the absorption of information and just that sense of like, cool, I've got the back end of this figured out, guys, but I am not your front line. That's my guy.
I
He's
didn't
always been one of my favorites. I love fish
did
legs.
not see that one come.
I know he's an odd show, but like there's just something about him the entire time. I'm like, yeah, bro, I get it. I get it. I would be right next to you going like, yep, yep, this makes sense. Tell me about that one. Okay, let's leave now. Let's go. I don't want to be here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my pick would be Gobber.
That's my second choice. Again, a fantastic. A
Just
fantastic.
just his personality, I feel like I could get along with and joke around and
Absolutely.
bullshit and whatever
You'd
else.
be hanging out in the forge and having a wonderful time in
And then
it.
like I could see myself if we were living in Burke working with him
Yeah.
because I like building stuff. So to be like blacksmithing would be fun.
Right, exactly. That is totally where you would be. I would be in the library of Burke recording all the information, be like, fish lakes, look, this one's new. Read it. Go.
Yeah.
Go home. So yeah, I can see that. Yes, you have that vibe all the way.
So that was part of the questions I had, but now let's switch gears and now go
Hmm.
towards the live action movies.
Yes.
Are you excited, nervous?
I am nervous. Okay, and I am mildly biased because we talked about Lilo and Stitch recently. And then we were able to see Lilo and Stitch recently. And I've got strong feelings about that. Let us know if you want us to go back to Lilo and Stitch at all. But it's the kind of thing where I started to re-examine some of the live action movies. When they have high points, when you're taking one of these beloved like classic cartoons or the things that like, and this is one that's not even like a classic for me. I wasn't young enough that How to Train Your Dragon is part of like when I was a little kid, but it had a distinct impact and I really liked it. I enjoyed it. It felt really fun and fresh and unique to me. And I'm a little nervous because on some of the live actions, I feel like sometimes the tone gets shifted. I feel like I feel like something gets lost, some of the magic that occurs in the original animation, and it doesn't happen on all of them. Some of them translate beautifully. Some of them have amazing moments that stand out on their own and that I really
Yeah.
like. But this is one where the playfulness of Toothless and the personality that that dragon gives really needs to come through for me so, so strong. And the specialness of his bond with Hiccup and Hiccup's relationship with himself and as he finds his place in this village. Those are things that if they're not translated the right way, it would really change the feel of the movie for me. And so that's important for me that that comes out right at this point. Um, so I guess not super nervous, but definitely apprehensive about a couple things. There's some things that are super important that I um need to work, or it's not going to be the same kind of movie for me. You can lose that magic. What about you? What are you thinking?
Well, other than Larry, my uncle, showing up to hang out, um, I'm nervous, pretty much the same way, because like going to see Lilo and Stitch, it wasn't exactly what I was hoping it'd be.
Right? There was some disappointment that came from that one.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it, but not to the extent I enjoyed the original movie. Maybe because, like you said, we grew up watching that.
Right. It has a special place. And those characters in that feel like it's one of those things. Sometimes these movies work so well because they were original and special. And then to have it try and be remade, like they add scenes, but somehow they still feel rushed, or they lose some of the integral scenes. Some of the things that they change from the originals are the most important parts. And so there are certain scenes like you mentioned, like the all of this and like the tone and the way that those moments hit. Um, the little character bits with Gobber, like if you don't find one the right person to play those, which I like the fact that they've kept Stoick as Gerard Butler,
Yeah.
that is a point in their favor. But if you don't find the right person to capture that energy or those little moments, something intrinsic gets like left behind in there.
So going back to like casting, I do like who I can't remember his name, but he was from Shaun of the Dead,
Yes, 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 yes.
and he's playing Gobber, and I'm
Hmm.
really excited because I do love that his personality in his movies. I think he could pull it off.
Yeah, so exactly like there's definite potential in things, but I have reservations. So I guess we'll see. I guess the biggest thing is that we'll see. We'll see how things
We will
come out on
definitely
this one.
see.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I'm excited to see this one.
Yes, for sure, for sure. Oh, we've got Catapalooza. I got everyone coming down. We also have Yeti now in the
Uh,
pit. Well, not in
the
the frame, but he's down here, guys.
yeah,
Trust us.
that would be my nightmare.
All right. And oh, all right. So that's your yeah, that's your feel on the live action,
Yep.
right?
And then the last question I had, which was my last ponder on this one, what do you hope they keep in the movie that keeps true to the original?
Oh, big for me are the little bits of Toothless. Again, like if I can see him drawing those little moments right there, the little bits of expression on his face, I really want that to come through. And I want that sense of him and Hiccup really bonding. Um, and I also want the sense of Gerard Butler's like I would like Stoic by the end. I really want to feel the emotional change in him. I don't want it to feel rushed or unearned. I really want to watch him kind of evolve and learn to see his son and the value in who Hiccup is and what he represents. That's important to me, the way that felt. So those are the big things I think that I want to see come through. But honestly, if I can just see Toothless draw on the beach, that would help. That would help a lot.
That that is a good scene.
Yeah.
And I like the scene before that where or after yeah, before
Hmm.
where he makes the initial like I think they're gonna do it with the handout and
Oh, exactly. And the little boob.
the yeah
Yes.
the first sign of trust between the two of them.
Hmm.
That was a good scene, but I really want to see the scene, which I feel like they have to do it,
Hmm.
is where he's learning to fly together and everything.
Of course, no question. I know I need this back. And then the other one for me too would be I like the scene where we figure out that the dragons are not or that they're flammable on the inside. Exactly. Just that little moment of Toothless there as he pew and
Oh
shoots
yeah,
the
it
flame
shoots a
back into.
little.
That would be another little scene that I would be happy to see included if at all possible.
Absolutely, that's a good one. I didn't
Yes.
even think of that one,
Right? But yeah, exactly. I do. I think those are the things that I would be most looking forward to. For sure, for sure.
but so far that's all I got. Do you
All
have any
right.
questions that you
No, I
think of?
think that like yeah, I love that. I feel like that kind of takes me through the world of Burke again. It refreshes me on how to train your dragon. And like it is, they're great characters. It is. It's such a fun place to be. So yeah, we'll see what happens in the new one. No matter what, you've got the original, but yeah, I think that that's the question is how do you train your dragon? Well, this is the answer. That's how you do it. All right, so I'm Lauren,
I'm Joe.
and we will see you guys again next week. Hopefully, you had a great time listening with us. We'll see what comes up. We got plenty of places to go and plenty of things to ponder. And enjoy the rest of your week.
Yeah, and if there's any other things you want us to dabble on with How to Train Your Dragon, reach out and send us a comment.
Please, your questions, your comments, let us know. What's your favorite dragon? Would you survive there? Who's your Viking? Yeah, let us know. What is your take on How to Train Your Dragon?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, bye.